What's up, Laker fans? Welcome to Season 1, Episode 16 of Hooked on Lakers. This is Arshia K. We're here to talk Lakers basketball. As you know, the 2017 NBA Draft is this Thursday. The Lakers have been very blessed and fortunate to have the number 2 overall pick, despite us having a 46.9% chance of landing a top 3. So when we learned that we got the number 2 overall pick, it exceeded every single Laker fan's expectations. We were just happy just to have the third pick. But given that, the question still remains, who are we going to be taking at the number 2 pick? As you know, this is a loaded NBA draft that they've been talking about since last year. There's a lot of talent, running the first 10 picks deep, maybe even top 15. But to get the number 2 overall pick, to crack the top 3, you need to be kind of a unique player, and only certain types of players are really worthy of being a top 3, specifically a top 2, which is what we're trying to draft. So given that, I'm going to only talk about 4 players today that I think are worthy of a top 3 pick, and then ultimately which one I think the Lakers should select at the 2 spot. That's going to be matching their their needs as a future leader, a talent, skilled player, and someone who can really take this organization and team to the next level. All right. So I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'm going to go ahead to the next clip, and I'm going to start with the first player. All right, guys. Starting in descending order on which players are worthy of consideration at the number 2 overall pick, a selection by the Lakers. The first player is De'Aaron Fox, the 6 foot, 370 pound, 6'4", 170 pound point guard out of Kentucky. This guy is a athletic freak of nature, possibly the best athletic talent coming out of the draft. His game reminds me a little bit of Dunn from the Timberwolves. Um, Russell Westbrook, obviously. Just a very athletic point guard who's kind of like a combo guard and can do everything. Um, so that's an awesome talent that's coming out of the collegiate ranks. He's very good in the fast break. He's very good at attacking the rim. He plays above the rim. And he's tenacious on defense, which is a um, huge asset in NBA these days. Point guards who could play both sides of the court, offense and defense. Um, but the problem with De'Aaron Fox's game is um, he's not really a true point guard to the point where he thinks pass first. The passes he makes are real simple. They're not elite level passing like a Steve Nash, a John Wall, CP3. They're just basic passes that anyone in the league can really make. He's also not a very good, although he is a good scorer. He has the ability to put up points. Um, he's not a good shooter, and that's basically, in my opinion, one of 3 parts of the basketball game. Either you can shoot, you can pass, or you can play defense. And the more of those you can do, the more valuable you are. So at this point, he's not really a very good, efficient shooter. His mechanics are pretty decent, but they're not great. Um, and and his passing is average. So when you consider that, and considering that the Lakers need someone that's guaranteed is going to take this franchise to the next level at the number 2 overall pick, I'm not sure he's our guy. Now, don't get me wrong. If we draft him, I'll still be happy. That's a talent that we can work with. He's really young. He's not even 20 years old yet. So this is a guy that probably 3-4 years we could shape up into something special. But do we really have 3 to 4 years? I don't know. I think we need someone now that's going to come in right away and take our league, take our team to the next level. So as much as I like De'Aaron Fox, and I think any team that's going to draft him is going to be happy, as a Lakers fan, I'm going to pass up on selecting him at the number 2 overall pick. Okay, guys. Following De'Aaron Fox, I think the next player that's worthy of consideration, but not necessarily worthy of selection, is Josh Jackson, the 6'8", 200 plus pound small forward out of University of Kansas. Now, this guy is an intriguing talent I like a lot, and if we ultimately do select him at the number 2 overall pick, believe me, I'll be very, very happy because this guy is special. Um, However, at the number 2 pick, I want a specific type of player that I know is low risk in terms of being a successful leader in the future, and I'm just not sure if he makes the cut. However, I think any team that gets this guy will be very happy, and he might exceed a lot of expectations because of his strengths. This guy is multifaceted player that can basically do everything. He's kind of like a jack of all trades, but not necessarily expert in any one area. He can score. He's a very, very good passer. He can defend. He can play defense on the 1 through 4 positions. He has a high motor. His motor is um, it's like an anomaly in this league or in this draft. His motor is different from everybody else. The majority of the players' motors in the league. He's playing on another level that you don't see very often, but you definitely see on championship teams. His motor is on a level that we're talking Kobe Bryant, we're talking Charles Barkley, Draymond Green, Giannis, just a high level, a disruptor, um, on the court on both ends. Um, he's a guy that makes plays. He's fearless. He's very, very ultra aggressive. And I mean, I could name majority of teams in leagues that need a player like that. But a couple areas that I see that he's lacking is um, he doesn't have very good shooting mechanics. It needs to be worked on and improved. He's kind of got a little bit of a hitch. That's something that's going to take about 2 to 3 years to work on. When you factor in um, the NBA season takes up the majority of the season, you only have a few months, I don't know, around 4 or 5 months to work on your game. And 4 to 5 months is not enough time to change your mechanics and to really lock it in your neurological system. It's going to take 2 to 3 years, and when you're doing 4 to 5 months each year, when you stretch it out for 3 years, that's about a full year, to create that shot. So it's going to take about 2 to 3 years for him to improve that shot. Um, Also, I'm not sure if he's a leader. I mean, is this like a guy that you're going to have and he's just going to lead a franchise? I mean, is he kind of like a CP3 with those type of leadership skills? We're talking the number 2 overall pick. We're not going to be having to pick that high for many, many years to come because we're only going to get better. So we really need a guy that's just going to create that culture we need right away, and then is just going to start improving this team and improving everyone around them. Is he that the type of player, or is he more like a number 3 option on a team, or maybe number 4 option? And with the number 2 overall pick, we can't take that much of a gamble. We've got to make sure we're getting the right player. So given that he doesn't have great shooting mechanics, he does have some off the court character issues. I'm not really sure he's a clear cut leader right now. Um, and that shot needs to be improved next 2 3 years at least. I'm not sure I'm going to go ahead and um, take him at the number 2 overall pick. But again, I think if we do take him at the 2, I'll still be very happy because he is definitely a player that we can work with and and make our team better. All right, guys. This next player will give it away on who I think is going to be the Lakers' number 2 selection. And this is probably a shock to many players, but it is what it is. I got my opinions, and there's a certain way I want the team, and I'm, just a fan and have an opinion like everyone else. And ultimately, I just don't think that this player is the player that we need. However, the consensus says that Markel Fultz out of Washington, 6'4" point guard, 200 plus with all the intangibles, is worthy of number 1, and I agree. This kid is the real deal. I mean, he can shoot, he can pass, he can score, he can play defense, he blocks shots. He's got a 40-something inch vertical. Um, he shoots threes as good as anyone I've seen. His mechanics are, as far as shooting, is perfect. He's got a great attitude. He's not a troublemaker. He's got his head on straight, and he's very, very young. He's one of the youngest players coming out of the um, college level. It's kind of like Carl Anthony Towns last year came out, or 2 years ago came out very, very young, but started producing from day one. So I kind of see this guy kind of like a Carl Anthony Towns at the point guard position. But here's the caveat. Here's the problem with what I see with this guy. I'm not 100% sure he's a point guard, and the Lakers really, really need a point guard. Now, D'Angelo Russell just got shipped out, so I wanted to create this video real quickly because things move quickly. And earlier, I was going to say that this was going to be a possible redundant position and overlap with but D'Angelo just got shipped out. Um, but again, this guy, um, I have concerns that this guy's a true point guard. I can see this guy. He's definitely a score first point guard, kind of like a Damian Lillard out of Portland. And I'm not too sold on score first point guards unless they're elite level passes like Steph Curry. I mean, these guys know when to pass versus when to shoot versus when to take over the games. And I'm not sure guys like Damian Lillard or Russell Westbrook have figured out that balance yet. Um, and that's the concerns I have with this guy. I think he's got awesome size. He's got really long wingspan. He's fast. He can do everything. I'm just concerned that later on down the road, a couple years from now, we're going to figure out that actually he needs to be a shooting guard as opposed to a point guard. And then that means now we got to go get a point guard. And I think the Lakers really, really need a point guard right now. If there's one positional need they have more than anything, I would say it's a point guard. Although I still think that they need to get the best talent available, as mentioned in the previous video that I created, episode that I created. So the issues with him, I'm just not sure if he's a true point guard, and I think the Lakers need that. And then also this guy, might not be as great as people say he is, just because, you know, he's just kind of got that game. Like you're just not sure. How many times have we seen players like this come to the league and then all of a sudden it just doesn't pan out? Um, I don't know. I think this guy's either going to be incredible or he might be just okay. And that's just my opinion. I know his stats prove otherwise. But one other thing that comes to mind is why didn't Washington basketball team do so well? If he's such a great player, such a leader, why weren't they above 500? I think you should easily get your team above 500. So that's the other concern I have is, I'm not sure about his leadership skills. Um, why was Washington not above 500? Period. So, given that, it's obviously a no-brainer on what's left on who I think the number two pick should be, who I think the Lakers' number one option should be, and also before that, I want to mention that it's already unofficial that Markelle Fultz will be the number one overall pick, um, but it's not official because it's not Thursday yet, and Philadelphia, who acquired his rights from a trade with Boston, still hasn't made that selection. But it's official. It's that man code that ultimately they're going to be picking Markelle Fultz as the one, which means most likely we're not going to be able to have him as an option anyways. So that said, once again, the number one choice that I think the Lakers should go after for the number two overall pick is, and with the number two overall pick, the Los Angeles Lakers select Lonzo Ball. Obviously, it's a no-brainer based on standard deduction that it was going to be Lonzo Ball that the Lakers are going to pick. But the real reason this is who I think the Lakers need to pick is because he just checks off the most boxes on what the Lakers basically need for their next franchise player. First off, he's an elite level passer that we haven't seen since I don't know Jason Kidd and um, Steve Nash, maybe CP3, maybe John Wall, but it might be a little bit better than John Wall. You just don't find players, point guards, that often that are truly elite pass first point guards. There's a lot of like combo guards these days. Like Damian Lillard is a perfect example. CJ McCollum is another example. But to find guys that truly just want to pass the ball and to find open teammates and just support the team, you don't find that many these days. And when you have that opportunity, you need to really strongly consider selecting that player. In addition to his superb passing skills, um, this guy is a 6'6" point guard. I don't know if there's any 6'6" point guards in the leagues. You know, the only ones that come to mind are not even true point guards. They're just like combo guards, positionless players. And this is like a LeBron James, a James Harden. Um, but to have a true 6'6" point guard who truly is a point guard, that's a rarity these days, and you have to strongly consider it. Not only that, but he's already a proven winner and a proven leader, and that goes back to, um, you know, Chino Hills. It's a high school that I mean, have you ever heard of? I haven't really heard of Chino Hills. The only time I heard of Chino Hills is because of the Ball brothers. But before then, the only type of high schools I've heard of are like Mater Dei, Montverde School, where like D'Angelo Russell and Ben Simmons went to, and a bunch of other NBA players. I've heard of schools like that, but I've never heard of Chino Hills. So this guy put Chino Hills on the map, and not only that, he took a weak school like Chino Hills and took them and won a championship. So this guy has been a leader early on. After Chino Hills, he went to the local university, UCLA, and took a weak UCLA team without any real NBA-bound prospects, and took them to, I don't know what it was Sweet 16. Um, but for him to even take it to the tournament, that's pretty impressive. So, this guy has already demonstrated leaderships at both the high school and the collegiate level. Um, in addition to that, this guy is a superb three-point shooter. Although he's got some very funky um, Kevin Martin-like shooting mechanics, he still has proven that he can shoot at a high level. He shot over 40% at the three-point range. To do that is impressive. To do that as a rookie is even more impressive. Um, so, this guy's strengths are leadership, three-point shooting. He's also very, very good in the open court, on the fast break, which is something the Lakers need. Um, and he just has a sense for this game that you really can't teach. There's no book that you read. There's no drills that you can go through. He just sees things that other players don't see, and I really don't have too many players in the modern game that I can compare that to. And this game is always evolving. You always have to be competitive from every area, um, and that's something that could set him apart from other players and set our team apart from other teams. It's just his playmaking ability. So, and that's a tremendous asset for a team. It takes a lot of pressure off the teammates because he's going to go ahead and set up the offense and run the offense and make plays. Um, um, Moreover, this guy is he's a leader. Um, to take a team like Chino Hills, take UCLA, that it's proved that he's already led a team. Now he's not a vocal guy per se like a Chris Paul. He's kind of a quiet leader, but he leads by example by passing the ball. Anytime you pass the ball, you're creating connections with your teammates. And the more times you pass it, the more respect they have for you because they know that you're all about the team and not about yourself. Um, so that is something that the Lakers are looking for. Is they're looking for someone who's going to lead this team immediately and make them all the players around them better. And I don't really see any other player out of the draft that could do that better than Lonzo Ball because he's done it at two levels already. He's at the high school level and he's done it at the collegiate level. Um, and then this might be one of the most important, but not the most important. I think talent is the most important characteristic that you need to consider. Is he's a local player, and you got to go with the hometown kid if you have the opportunity because he knows the Los Angeles Lakers. He knows what it's like to be Lakers. He knows their legacy and their history. And not too many players do that in the modern NBA. There's so much glitz and glamour. They're all about money, popularity. and that's not the stuff you want to look forward to. Most players don't stick with one team anymore. You don't find too many Tim Duncans and Kobe Bryants that have played with one team their whole career. 3, 4, 5 years, they're on to the second team, and basically that was a waste of an asset, and then we got to trade it and start all over again, or we lose them in free agency. But when you have a hometown kid who's already demonstrated his loyalty to local programs by playing for Chino Hills and then transferring to UCLA and then again want to stay at the pro level, uh, you have to strongly consider him. And his dad has already made it known, you know, leading up to the draft that he only wants to play for the Lakers. And why else should my son try for other teams? In life you got to go for the things you want to do, and that's a very valuable lesson I think in the great parenting and leadership from LeVar Ball. And I believe that. I believe if you want something, you got to go get it. And he's adamant he only wants to play for the Lakers and nobody else. So when you factor in his leadership skills, his passing ability, um, uh, his loyalty to local teams, given that, I think he is the number one option for the Lakers to pick at the number 2 overall pick. I think this means a lot to the local fan base. This is entertainment first and then a sport. So you have to give the fans what they want. And I think the consensus among Laker fans is we want Lonzo Ball. It's still a crapshoot when all is said and done. You're still not guaranteed these players are going to be good, but at least commit to the local player. Um, and that's what we want, and that's what I want. So my hope is that on Thursday the Lakers will pick Lonzo Ball, and then the fun will begin after that. I appreciate you guys all tuning in to Season 1, Episode 16 of Hooked on Lakers. My name is Arshia K, and I'll catch up with you guys on my next video. Peace out.